Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back here again on another Monday morning. As you see in our background, we're still seeing some rain here today in the forecast here in Northwest Ohio. Just wanted to touch base a little bit with you as the grower, just on some points that we wanted to cover here in regards to any corn that did get planted and any corn that you might take prevent plant on, and some options that we've got there here as we look at the overall grain and PN complexes here. So I think to start off this morning, I wanted to talk with Chris just a little bit just in regards to where we're at here now from a regional perspective as we compare it to the national market here, and just talk a little bit about where we're at. I mean, we're sitting at 430 D's futures now. Where does that go here? Where in your mind does that go from a world stocks perspective and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, regionally, obviously we're struggling, but the one thing that a lot of people are sitting on is the demand side. We are importing corn from Brazil. That Brazil's also sending corn to Mexico. So a lot of people are talking about, they're focusing on the supply side being the big issue. But really, on the demand side, we're losing ground as well. So when we finalize acres at the end of the month, we'll know a whole lot more. We do have a S&D report tomorrow at noon, so I don't think they'll jockey a whole lot of numbers there. But one thing you have to focus on is not just regionally, but globally, even though we are struggling a little bit currently in this area. So
it'll be interesting to see what the planted acres come out also at 4 o'clock today.
Definitely.
I know Indiana, Illinois did a good job of getting a lot of acres in this last week. Ohio is still wet and continually raining here right now. But yeah, we can definitely parlay some of these prevent planting acres into a crop for next year.
A lot of people want to talk about, what does this late planting do to the final yield? I mean, obviously there's going to be some flooding issues. What do you see with how that will affect?
Just because it's a late planting doesn't mean that we're going to have a bad year in corn. 09 is a great example. We were 10% above trend yield that year. That was one of the latest plantings until this year, of course. 2012 was a great example of early planting where we were 36% below trend yield.
Sure.
After that one. So timing isn't everything. This excessive rain can be an issue for especially nitrogen loss. So we need to really stress doing a pre-side dress nitrate test here when corn gets up about V2 to V4. That way we can get some time, and if we need to rescue that corn with excess of nitrogen or putting more UAN on, we can do that. And we have a great nitrogen stabilizer here at the Andersons, Ultramate LQ or Ultramate ZN, 1 gallon to the acre with that. Will stabilize that nitrogen.
I think that's going to be a really good point. Is if you do have the corn planted, you're going to want to invest in that corn, because prices probably will be some of the better prices we've seen in the last 4 years. So if you do have it planted, I personally would invest in that with doing some nitrogen type of stuff, just to make sure you are optimizing what you do have planted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, price could be price could be pretty good this year. We want to get as many bushels out of that ground as we can.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about this prevent plant dynamic. I know there's going to be a lot of growers in this area taking some sort of a prevent plant on corn, just corn that is not going to get in the ground. And driving around, I'm noticing a lot of weed pressure out there right now, just on bare ground that hasn't been able to be touched yet. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah,
from your perspective?
Absolutely. We still need to control these weeds. Even the later planted corn. A lot of people are saying, well, we'll just do Roundup or Liberty. We still need a good residual down. We still have 120 days of growing to go, so the weeds could get out of control. Your weed bank could have excessive seed in there. On the prevent plant side, a good cover crop right now would kind of suppress the weeds down. Now, you cannot harvest or graze or make hay off of that cover crop until November 1st. But if we want to destroy that cover crop and then plant wheat this fall, this would be a great avenue of getting some wheat acres in. So
yeah, I think that's going to be big in general. Is July 20 wheat prices getting up near the 550 range. If that is a game plan. If we need to make that adjustment today, you know, we could really just focus on maybe planting a cover crop, controlling those weeds, shoving some wheat in the ground. Straw prices are good as well. So I know you from your cattle background, straw has been at a premium, and
so this could be actually a making lemonade out of lemons situation.
Yeah.
We could get the prevent plant money from the insurance on that, and then we could get some good wheat acres in the Ohio area, which is historically a great place to grow wheat.
Definitely.
And so we could get some higher wheat acres than we've seen in the last 5-6 years.
And one of the points you made earlier while we were just chatting was, you know, the later plant stuff, the corn, the beans that are getting planted out west, it's probably not going to accrue to some wheat acres out there. So maybe wheat acres here will be the premium.
I see wheat acres going down very strongly over in Illinois and Indiana. And when you plant corn in June, you're going to be harvesting that corn in November, and I would not recommend planting wheat in November.
Yeah, I think just the other piece that I wanted to chat just about here was just talking about our risk management perspective here and where we're at from a marketing plan. There's going to be a lot of corn acres lost in this area. I mean, it's probably a little too soon to tell yet. Just as we go through this week, how many acres of corn are lost. Just as that goes back to your marketing plan here with your Anderson's rep, just getting in touch I think is important, and figuring out where your new marketing plan is at based on the acres that you do have in the ground, and making adjustments as needed, I think is going to be absolutely critical here as we move through in a very volatile market here right now that we've seen the last 2 weeks, and we expect to see going in through the summer. So just discussing the different options, the different dynamics that we have changing in front of us here today.
And make sure you scout your fields. The excessive rain that we've been getting here lately, the last week or so, we may have even planted corn, and now we're going to either have to think again of what we're going to do because of the flooded fields. You know, if we have a flooding in a localized flooding in a field, 24 hours is not much. You start reducing stands about 23% after 2 days. After 4 days, you might as well just write it off and maybe take the insurance payment and plant a cover crop and look at planting wheat.
I think just to sum everything up here, I think we here at the Andersons are very interested in what's going on in your operation. We want to keep in touch with you and discuss these different and changing dynamics with you here as we go through the growing season. So with that being said, keep safety at utmost importance here in your operations here. I know it's going to be a critical time here over the next couple weeks as we finish up planting corn, switching to planting beans, and also getting in and starting to top dress some of that corn with some nitrogen. So stay safe out there and enjoy your day.